Thanks for joining us from the Ohio AgNet Voice You Know with the News You Trust studio, sponsored by Grain Equipment Company, where innovation meets execution. I'm Dale Minyo. Today's weekly crop progress updates brought to you by AgriSpray Drones, empowering rural America through complete spray drone solutions. Contact them at agrispraydrones.com/Arnold Precision. Let's start with the national scene, where we have corn and soybean harvest continued ahead of the average pace last week, according to USDA's NAS Weekly National Crop Progress Report, released a day late this week because of the holiday Monday. Corn mature was 94% and harvested at 47%. The soybeans were 95% dropping leaves and 67% harvested. Corn remaining in the field was rated 64% good to excellent condition, unchanged from the previous week. And the winter wheat was 64% planted and 35% emerged. Today's weather brought to you by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com. Here's the forecast.
We've got some sunshine trying to break free over Ohio today. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin. Let's take a look at your forecast update. It's still cool here, but we're starting to see winds turn more to the southwest today, and that will allow temperatures to moderate the rest of this week. So cool today. We're still dealing with frost and freeze conditions from earlier this morning. I won't rule out frosty conditions overnight tonight as well, but your Thursday should be warmer, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, very, very pleasant here with sunshine, blue sky, and above normal temperatures. We're looking at harvest being able to move on easily with no precipitation at all. Very dry here still. Going into next week, we're going to keep that dry pattern around. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, sunny and warm. Moisture that tries to work into Indiana overnight Tuesday night into Wednesday falls apart before it gets across the state and into our neck of the woods, so I do not have any precipitation for us at all next week. Cooler air tries to break free next to Thursday into Friday, the 24th and 25th, coming across the Great Lakes. That's going to knock temperatures back a little bit, get us closer to normal, but there's no moisture that comes with that either, so I think that we're going to see harvest go full bore from now right on through next week, Thursday, Friday. There's a good chance we could be done with everything in harvest by the end of the 25th. I'm Ryan Martin.
And thanks, Ryan. Yesterday evening, about 0.15 of an inch of rain in my rain gauge, and it was on again, off again. Little sun, little rain. Temperature still on the cool side. Let's continue with the weekly crop progress numbers. In Ohio, topsoil moisture is at 40% adequate, 1% to surplus. Shorts at 39%, and very short at 20%. As we move into the crop progress numbers, corn mature at 92%. That's 15 points ahead of the 5-year average and also ahead of last year. The corn harvested of grain is 34%, 16 points ahead of average, and last year we were only at 15% by now. Corn harvested for silage, we're getting close to being done at 95%, and that is right on the 5-year average pace. Soybeans dropping leaves, 97%, 3 points ahead of last year, 6 points ahead of the 5-year average. Soybeans harvested at 62%, 19 points ahead of the 5-year average, and 20 points ahead of a year ago. Our winter wheat planted is 58%. That's right on the 5-year average, 12% ahead of last year. Winter wheat emerged at 18%, 1 point behind the average, but 8 points ahead of last year. Alfalfa hay fourth cutting is at 90%, 4 points ahead of the 5-year average. As you look to our crop condition, 19% of the corn in the state's in the poor to very poor categories. 40% is in the good to excellent. Soybeans are at 39% good to excellent and 24% in the bottom two categories. Pasture and rangeland, wow, what a difference here, 68% in the poor to very poor category and only 5% in the good category, 0% in excellent. Of what we've been harvesting, corn harvested for grain this past week was 18%. That's 4 points lower than the 5-year average. And a year ago, we were this week running 26% moisture on the corn. The soybeans harvested at 11%. That's 1 point under last year and 1 point under the 5-year average pace. Back with more after this.
Did you know soybeans' #1 customer is animal agriculture? That includes Ohio's beef farms. Research from the Soy Checkoff found that U.S. beef operations use over 1.3 million tons of soybean meal every year. That's the meal from about 55 million bushels of U.S. soybeans. Essential protein, energy, and amino acids. High-quality feed for heart-healthy beef. Soybeans, feeding the industry that feeds us. Brought to you by Ohio's soybean farmers and their checkoff.
Hi everyone, this is Dale Minio from the Ohio AgNet. For a quarter of a century, I powered my truck with biodiesel, traveling the state promoting agriculture. Biodiesel is a reliable, high-performance fuel that works in any diesel engine without modification. The best part is that with every mile driven, I'm fueling the economy, doing good for the environment, and supporting soybean farmers. Learn how using biodiesel can add value to every bushel of soybeans grown at soyohio.org. Well, the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Foreign Ag Service will host its first ever trade mission to Bangkok, Thailand, February 3rd to the 6th of the coming year. Now, this mission represents an important opportunity for farmers, ranchers, producers, and agribusinesses to connect with potential partners from both Thailand and Burma, said FAS Administrator Daniel Whitney. Consumers in these markets are ready to stock their pantries with the world-class high-quality food and farm products offered by the United States exporters. While in Bangkok, U.S. agriculture representatives will take part in a business-to-business meeting with potential importers from both Thailand and Burma and will learn about local and regional market conditions through site visits and in-depth market briefings by FAS staff and other regional trade experts. Now, the United States was the fifth largest supplier of agriculture products to Thailand in 2023 with $1.2 billion in exports. The U.S. Top exports were bulk commodities used for feed and food manufacturing. Both strong opportunities exist for consumer-oriented products as well. Thailand boasts the fourth highest per capita income in the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, and a real GDP growth is forecast at 2.6% in 2024 compared to 1.9% in 2022. A population of 70 million and an expanding middle class are driving demand for imported products. U.S. exporters have opportunities in many sectors in Thailand, including dairy products, food preparations, seafood, tree nuts, fresh fruits, chocolate, and cocoa, beef, wine, distilled spirits, hops, beer, and food ingredients. In Burma, opportunities exist for food preparations, dairy products such as cheese and whey, processed potatoes, fresh fruits, chocolate, and cocoa, condiments and sauces, packaged foods, non-alcoholic beverages, wine, distilled spirits, and seafood products. In addition to Thailand trade mission, USDA intends to lead missions to the Dominican Republic, Guatemala, Hong Kong, Mexico, and Peru early in 2025. And on a different note, U.S. corn and soybean exports risk losing a significant share of the Chinese market to Brazil and Argentina if the U.S. reintroduces aggressive tariffs. A new study from corn and soybean groups looks at what would happen if China reinstated tariffs or raised corn and soybean tariffs to 60%, matching tariffs from former President Donald Trump and what he had imposed on China. In either case, U.S. exports fall dramatically, while Argentina and Brazil sell more commodities to China every year. That's the conclusion of a new study released by the American Soybean Association and National Corn Growers Association. The study highlights another trade war with China could cost corn and soybean farmers roughly $5 billion to $8 billion a year in lost value. Filling the void would be South American farmers who would see higher prices and convert more acreage to crops. The study emphasized the risks of trade war on hundreds of thousands of farmers, a majority of whom likely support former President Donald Trump over Vice President Kamala Harris in the presidential race. Leaders at NCGA and ASA believe it is in America's economic interest to maintain a trading relationship with China, even as both governments work through trade and other concerns. They also noted they support thoughtful consideration of the impacts tariff and tariff retaliation could have on U.S. farms and rural communities, the group stated in a news release. Back with market information after this.
AmeriHealth Caritas Ohio is your Medicaid plan for more. More benefits, more rewards. We know that good health means more than just seeing a doctor when you're sick. Eligible members can receive extras like home-delivered meals and family essentials, like baby carriers and kids' school supplies. Members can even earn rewards for playing mobile health trivia games. Learn more at AmeriHealthCaritasOH.com and call the Ohio Medicaid Consumer Hotline at 1-800-324-8680 to choose AmeriHealth Caritas Ohio.
If your road trip leads you to Ohio's farm country, be sure to share the road with Ohio's farmers. Farm machinery moves slowly, makes wide turns, and needs extra space to avoid obstacles like mailboxes and guardrails. Let's all be mindful and make sure everyone gets home safe and sound this year. This message brought to you by the Ohio AgNet, OSU Extension Ag Safety and Health Team, and this station.
Time now for the Louis Dreyfus Grain Analysis, brought to you by the Ohio Soybean Council and your soybean checkoff. Here's Ryan Martin.
Grain markets finished weaker on Tuesday. The only place we saw green on the screens was in soybean oil and in the oat market. But if you're one of those folks that says oats knows, maybe we have a corn bounce coming here soon. Let's hope so. We've had plenty of days in the red. Most of the Tuesday action was about disappointment. We started the day with exporters being disappointed about the early soybean seed quality. We are hearing about some blending trying to take place between upper Midwest soybeans and poorer quality Delta and southern Midwest beans. That's led to a little bit of a basis challenge out there. The rest of the central U.S. cash markets were weak yesterday. Central Illinois cash corn bid came in at 15 cents under, Des Moines 42 cents under, Toledo's 35 under the December futures. Corn harvest is of high quality, and the abundance of supply is weighing on the basis right now. Speaking of corn harvest, the crop progress report came out showing a big jump in soybean harvest across the country. But in some of the eastern corn belt, you could definitely see the impact that the wet soil conditions from Hurricane Helene's remains weighed in on the harvest. For example, Indiana was not nearly as far along as some were thinking, mostly due to the fact that it's been a lot slower go at harvest in the aftermath of Helene than farther north. Northern areas are basically done. Southern Indiana lagging, seeing the same kind of scenario in parts of Ohio. As we take a look at other stories yesterday, soybean futures are going to be showing greater weakness as China's demand for U.S. soybeans is probably about done. We did get a flash reported sale of 131,000 metric tons of soybeans to China for the 24-25 crop year, but after the long U.S. holiday weekend, that being the only sale of U.S. beans was pretty doggone disappointing. There was only one sale of wheat to Mexico. Also disappointing. So that tells you demand is not where we were hoping it would be. I'm Ryan Martin.
And thanks, Ryan. Today's market's brought to you by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com. In the overnight, December corn up 3/4, $4.02. March up 1/4 cent at $4.17 3/4, and May $4.26 1/4, up 1/4 cent. Pluses in beans also. November up 6 1/2 at $9.97 1/2. January $10, 8 1/4 cent, up 4 3/4, and March up 4 3/4 at $10.21 1/2 cent. Slight minuses for wheat. December down 2 3/4 at $5.76 3/4. The March $5.98, down 2 3/4, and July $6.13 1/2, down 3. In livestock, October cattle down $1.52 at $186.72. December $186.52, down $1.40, and February $187.40, down $1.30. December lean hog $75.22, down 57. February down 52 at $79.30, and April $83.80, down 40 cents. November feeder cattle down $3.10 to $246.47. January feeder cattle $244.22, down $3.37. Powered by Soy Biodiesel, heading back to Salina for week number 4, feeding farmers in the field. Looking forward to see if we get into field today. It's been that kind of a fall, but looking forward to meeting the family there today. Also, Don't forget, on our website, you can check out the latest by going on and subscribing to our text messaging. It's right above the weather. It delivers our midday farm show, markets, news, and weather every midday at 11 o'clock. Calls you by your first name and says your Ohio AgNet news is here. Hope you'll join us for that. I'm Dale Minio. This is the Ohio AgNet.